What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today we're actually going to be checking out some Call of Duty World at War gameplay over a Battlefield commentary. I know you probably want to see some Battlefield 4, maybe even Hardline, but God, you can't go wrong with any classics when it comes to Call of Duty. Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. All these games are just absolutely fantastic. So, regardless of the commentary, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay today. But ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing Battlefield 2042 and something that is going to be very concerning for the majority of the community. Now, a lot of us thought this was going to be very cool, and for those who don't know, in Battlefield 2042 they're going to have very enhanced weather effects. So things that we saw in the past, like in Battlefield 4, where it could be a very bad rainstorm that comes into the map, this time they're going to pretty much make that times 10. They're going to be adding in hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, a lot of different, really bad events that can happen are going on in Battlefield 2042. And honestly, at first, I thought this was going to be an absolutely amazing idea to see a little bit of variety added into the game. Yes, having a thunderstorm happen every once in a while is really cool, but seeing a tornado plop down in the middle of the map and toss cars around, toss things around, and change the whole environment right before your eyes is just a whole different level of Levolution. And as we all know, as Battlefield fans, Levolution is very key for the success of this title. Not completely key, it's not mandatory to make it really good, but I think that a lot of Battlefield fans really depend on good Levolution to make the experience 10 times better than it already is when it comes to a Battlefield game, regardless if it's buildings collapsing, cranes coming down, or like here, with insane weather effects. Something needs to happen to make sure the Levolution is really intense and good in Battlefield 2042. And also, they advertised this game as it being a massive experience, something that we've never seen in Battlefield ever before. And of course, developers and publishers will always say that, their game is massive, it's awesome, there's so many cool new features coming into the game. They're obviously going to say that because, at the end of the day, even though the developers have a passion for designing these games, the main point is that they have to make money off of it too, or else they're not going to be able to make games because they're not making money enough to keep their own job. So yes, they're going to be trying to hype it up and everything like that. But from what I've saw, and also in the past from what we've seen from EA DICE pushing out into Battlefield games, I'm really excited to see these new weather features and see how they're going to work. But sadly, regardless if I'm excited or not about the weather features, that's not going to change the fact that apparently it's not going too well when it comes to these big events like tornadoes. Now, over on Twitter, a very reliable leaker for Call of Duty, and also who's been dabbling in Battlefield as well, Tom Henderson, went ahead and said early feedback of the tornadoes in Battlefield 2042 are essentially, they're fun and cool to see for the first few times, but they become very repetitive and ruin the classic Battlefield experience and flow of the map. I'm not going to lie, this was kind of obvious that it wasn't going to be that outstanding. This is how a lot of things that turn out to be like weather features, for example, turn out in games. It's cool and it's exciting to experiment for the first couple of times. But then when everybody gets into the groove of the game, everybody starts actually trying. They find the weapons they enjoy, they know the map layouts and the map designs, they know where to run, they know where to rotate, they know where to flank. Once everybody understands the game and they start trying and they start moving away from the honeymoon phase, and the game is starting to settle in, that's finally out, I finally own the game, I've had it for, a couple of weeks now, what now? People are going to start changing their opinions, I feel like personally, about the weather features, things like tornadoes and these massive sandstorms coming into the game. And to be honest, I was never positive about sandstorms. I mean, we've seen in the past multiple sandstorms being used, and every single time it's just absolutely awful, in my personal opinion. Battlefield 1, they had sandstorms. It was cool. You could kind of see through them, but at the end of the day, it just, again, it kills the infantry experience, it kills the tank experience, it kills the airplane experience. You can't see anything. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it changes the vibes of the map. It allows you to push to different flags without getting spotted and rotate to certain areas without getting spotted, but seeing enemies is nearly impossible. And the same thing with Black Ops 4. We went ahead and saw Arsenal Sandstorm. My God, what a disaster! The only way you were able to see people, thank God it was Black Ops 4, because if this feature was added in to any other Call of Duty game, it would have been a disaster because you could not see a thing. And it's already bad enough in Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War where you can't see anything. Imagine a sandstorm on satellite in Black Ops Cold War. I'd rather die, because at least in Black Ops 4, they have the really bright red beams on both their shoulder pads, and I believe on their knee pads as well, to indicate that they are enemies, which you were able to see through the sandstorm. But even with the bright red on the enemy characters, It was not fun at all. It just caused a lot of randomness and a lot of things that pissed people off. And again, at first, it's cool. Oh, I'm fighting in a sandstorm. I can use all this stuff to my advantage. I can hide in here and I can rotate around here. But again, once you get over the honeymoon phase and the game finally settles in, you know the map, you know the weapons you enjoy, and you actually start trying, dying from not being able to see anything from a sandstorm is not going to sit well with a lot of people. Probably going to piss them off. I'm honestly torn. I truly am. Because I know during my personal honeymoon phase, I'm going to absolutely love flying around in a tornado. It's going to be fantastic. But I know the second the honeymoon phase is over and I start going into, trying to actually be good at the game and stuff like that, improve my skills, things like this, little tiny things on the side that add randomized deaths. And Battlefield is already a game that caters to a lot of randomized deaths, and I'm okay with that. I understand that when I go into a Battlefield experience, I know I'm getting into that type of environment. I know I'm going to get sniped by a tank across the map. I know there's going to be some helicopter pilots who are completely goated. They're just going to completely drop me multiple times in a row. I know that my building might collapse while I'm sitting in it, and I don't recognize that shaking. It's a lot of random things that happen in Battlefield that you cannot control. You can't control the scenario of absolutely everything. But weather just makes it kind of more annoying. I mean, thinking of all the sandstorms I've dealt with in Battlefield, I don't think I've ever enjoyed one. Again, when you're in the honeymoon phase, and let's all be honest here, seriously, let's be honest, you cannot get angry while you're in the honeymoon phase. Everything in the game is fine. Even a 725, if you were in a honeymoon phase with Modern Warfare, even a 725 wouldn't even be able to piss you off. But I was never in a honeymoon phase with Modern Warfare, so that doesn't even bother me. But I'm just saying, that's how powerful the honeymoon phase is. It will completely blind you from all of the annoying things in a game just because you're having a good time in the moment. But once that honeymoon phase passed for me on all these other Battlefield games, I hated every sandstorm. It just made the experience 10 times more annoying. And they're on good maps as well. It's not even like the maps are bad. They're playable, they're exciting, they're fun. But once the sandstorm comes in, it gets campy. Nobody wants to move because nobody can see. Nobody wants to rotate around the map because you can't see where the enemies are. You don't know where if someone is, if they're right in front of you, if they're across the map staring at you, if they're hiding in a building, if they're already on the flag, or if they're not on the flag, if there's a tank sitting on the flag, but you can't see the tank because the sand is completely covered. You see what I'm saying here? It just slows down the pacing of the game, and I'm assuming the same thing is going to happen with a tornado. If the tornado drops onto the map, yeah, that's going to be really cool to see, but if you can't go around it unless you have a wingsuit to fly around it, let's say if you don't have a wingsuit, it automatically kills you because you can't fly out of that, you're just going to die, or maybe you could pull a parachute or something of that sort, but it might kill you. It might throw you away from the gunfight that you're already in. Let's say you're fighting on a flag, you're engaging with enemies, you're in a really good spot, you have a perfect choke point on a whole enemy spawn, and then out of nowhere a tornado comes around, scoops you up, and tosses you to the other side of the map. That's gonna piss you off. That's not gonna be fun. But you also have to think, these weather events are not going to be happening every single game. So are they really going to be that bad? Or are they only bad because the developers have to play them on a daily basis? I don't want to say that they're good just because I'm in my honeymoon phase and I'm really excited to try them out, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am really excited to try out the tornadoes and stuff like that, but they did confirm that it's not going to be coming into every single game you play. So maybe, one time out of 5 games on a singular map, maybe you'll see a tornado. And then the 4 other times, you won't see a tornado. It'll just be the plain game, same map. And that's not bad, because if it's just once, at least it's a different experience. Keep in mind, there's only going to be, about 7 maps? And we don't know what the live service model for this game is going to be. And knowing that EA is the publisher, they're just as bad as Activision, we could more than likely get no maps. We can go months without a singular map. So to see a variety in a single map and having different weather events that can happen in a singular map might be the thing that we need to keep the game alive, especially if EA is deciding to destroy it with a horrible live service model. Because let's say EA takes months to give us one singular map like they did with Battlefield 5. We're going to be waiting 2, 3, maybe even 4 months just to get one map in the game. That's a long time with no content. People are going to get pissed off. It's going to be tiring and boring. Imagine if the maps had no intense weather features at all. Imagine if they had no destructibility from weather whatsoever. It would make the game even more stale. It would make the game more repetitive. But if every once in a while a tornado comes in and destroys the whole map you're in and forces you to change your playstyle from what you typically play on that same map, that might add a little variety. Or a hurricane comes in and completely floods the whole area and just destroys everything in your sight. That will change your playstyle. It will give you a little bit more variety. An earthquake plops into the map. Again, a bunch of destruction, destroys the whole map, once again changing your playstyle and adding more variety. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be that bad of a deal, but again, I haven't played the game yet. I can't give my 2 cents. If the developers are saying it's a bad thing, then, I mean, who am I to go against the developers? They're the ones making the game. They know if it's going to be good or bad, but it just sounded so cool. It sounded so cool. I really do hope it turns out good. But guys, thanks so much for tuning into this commentary. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, if you want to chat with me, there's 2 ways to do so. I have a Twitter and Discord. Both those links are down in the description. And also, if you want to catch me live stream some video games, I do it over on Twitch. Link to that is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you all on the next one. Peace out.